can hear the demons call when they do what they do. And now I feel like taking off, find a place with a view. The pain is never gonna stop if it's controlling you. I know that time can heal it all, I just gotta get through. I just gotta get through, I just gotta get through.
Greetings, comrades. This is Caleb, back with a... I wonder if I can call it an unboxing video or even a game haul video. It's just something I got off Amazon just for the hell of it. And no, I'm not talking about this cool little 3D printed dragon I bought from my store like a few weeks back. It does look cool though, for $7. What I actually got is, well, I decided to get a multi-cart. Now I have a couple of NES multi-carts, but there's this little company on Amazon called Retrotech that sells multi-carts for like the classic consoles like the NES, Super NES, Genesis, and even Nintendo 64. I get one of those later, $100 though, but yeah. Anyway, I decided to get the Super Nintendo version. This is the 801 16-bit game cartridge. Well, the Super 801 here, but yeah, it's for the Super Nintendo console. Comes a little user manual, and there's the cart itself. And it's interesting, 800 games, and yeah, I know there's well over 1,000 games for the Super Nintendo. And this has, there's another one that has 900 games, but I think 800 is more than enough for me, because I'm not going to sit there and play all 900 games. I'm not going to sit there and play all 800. But yeah, might as well take it out, and I can tell the label's not perfect on here. It's not, so it's kind of sticking out. But there's a little switch on here, which is kind of, plus a SD card on the top there. I'm not sure. I don't know if this is an EverDrive or not, but yeah, here we got the, it says Super 801 Pro LED light version. Yes, apparently this thing lights up. And this is up there. The Super 16-bit entertainment system. So they get it. So they can't get away saying Nintendo. I like how the screws are on the front. So let me get my Retron 3 just inside here. Get it out. Yeah, it uses Phillips screws, but here's my copy of Firepower 2000. It uses game bits, the game screws. Yeah, this uses regular Phillips head screws. It's kind of weird, but yeah, I've always been curious about these multi-carts for the classic consoles. You know, there's some good ones, some not so good ones. A lot of them filled with like bootlegs, duplicates, and stuff like that. And I did look through the list of this, and there doesn't seem to be many duplicate games, but I'm going to try it out. You know, also show some footage of it. But we do have this little manual here, which I don't know if it shows the list of games included. Yeah, just insert the cartridge, turn on the console, and you choose select game. You can see next screen, and it'll show all the games. So apparently there is a SD card here with boosting it. So I guess it's like a kind of sort of EverDrive, which, you know, actual EverDrives cost like $100 and all that. So yeah, I'm curious how this will be. It should be sure it's here. This is going to be display. Highlight the game you want to play and press the start button. The game will begin loading. It's going to be loaded, showing the picture above. The game will launch automatically. Okay, and then return the game. Press a reset on your console to bring it back to the main menu. And you can restart the game. Now start your last played game. That's pretty interesting. And you have some troubleshooting, game not loading, black screen or missing games. And here's the thing: compatible is the Super Nintendo, of course, Retron 2, Retron 3, and Retro Trio. And it's not compatible with the Retron 5. Yeah, I mentioned this. I don't know if I mentioned this in my actual Retron 5 unboxing, but the Retron 5 does not play well with unofficial multi-carts. Like official ones, like the Sega Genesis 6-pack, those work well. But unofficial ones like these, yeah, they don't work because it has to dump the actual game ROM here. Here it uses a different interface where it takes a menu where you can load up ROMs. So that's pretty nice to know. So you have a Retron 5, and you plan on getting this for that, you're kind of SOL. Get a Retron 3 or Retron 2 and play it that way. Or hell, if you have an original Super Nintendo, you can play it that way too. Even better. But like the cartridge itself, here's the same label you see in the other Super NES games. Yeah, I'm not sure what this switch is for. I'm going to assume that's like NTSC or PAL. I'm not too sure. I won't know until I try it out. It doesn't say... Yeah, it doesn't say anything about the that switch. It just shows how to operate the actual cartridge you plugged in. So anyway, I'm gonna go and plug this in and we'll see how it works. Alright, so got everything set up, got the cartridge plugged in, got my little Hyperkin Scout, and powering it on. And yeah, the cartridge is lighting up. Okay, so we got the interface here. So start game, you select that to continue the game you're already playing. We got select game, pretty obvious. And we got options, ROM settings, and toolbox. So yeah, actually before I continue, might as well you see those lights? That's coming from the cartridge. So yeah, it does light up, but that's not the reason I got this. I got this so I can play more Super Nintendo games, including some that are really hard to find. One of the reasons I got this is so I can play games like Axelay and R-Type 3, both shoot 'em ups on the Super Nintendo that are pretty expensive, even loose, they're like almost $100. Like even the Super Famicom versions are pretty pricey. So yeah, that's why I decided to get one of these instead. Curious about the longevity of these. So got reset, return, autosave. Okay, so doesn't look like there's any options to change the lights, so that bothers me any. Because it does take a while to start up. And just to get the manual real quick, just to make sure. Okay, choose select game, press B on the controller. So go to USA NTSC, all the games we organized in alphabetical order. So we got the USA games here, then we got Europe for PAL, which yeah, the Retrotech 3 I have does have a NTSC PAL switch, so you can play those. And you got Japan, so you can do it well. I like how it's all, it says cycle air forward from A to Z, but it's showing different with A to E, F to M, N to R, S to S, okay, and T to Z. Which SS makes sense because there's so many games that have super. Anyway, I guess we'll test out a personal favorite of mine. Just gotta wait for it to initialize since it does take some time to load up. Now, I already played this a while back, but you know, Firepower 2000, I grew up with the game. Like you saw the cart earlier in the video. And yeah, you press start to select it. And it takes a little time to initialize, so 10 to 15 seconds. Because we'll direct it from the SD card on the top. So that's something to keep in mind. You see how it works, and it may take several minutes. It shouldn't, it's Firepower 2000. I'll be right back. I need to put something in the oven. Alrighty, I'm back. As you can see, my camera's focus is going all crazy, but you see the game's running. And just to confirm, it's an actual cart. The actual multi-cart, my actual game, is my actual Firepower 2000 cart. And as further proof, you can see the lights in the bottom there. Yeah, I know the bottom shelf's a little messy, but I don't care. Yeah, sounds just like the real thing. It plays like the real thing. To select. I mean, gotta select the helicopter. That's how I play it. Let's try a few games on here to see how they work. I'm not sure if the camera's picking up. I noticed there's like a slight, very subtle strobe effect. Like it gets a little light and a little dark. I'm not not sure if it's because of the lights in the cartridge. But the gameplay's fine. Now, it did specify the Retro Trio, as well as the Retron 2 and the Retron 3, and the extra Super Nintendo. I'm not sure how it'll work with other Super NES clones. But you have OG hardware, and a Retron 3 like I do, it'll work fine. But keep in mind, it won't work on the Retron 5. Because I had to dump the actual game ROM, and it has to read through that first, it wouldn't work. Plasma. If you power it up, anything. Yeah. Firepower 2000 works. Let's go and try another game. Set it. It needs to initialize. And you select start game, it will continue where you left off. Or you select game and choose another game. Again, it does take a little time for it to load up, so that's something to keep in mind. So, you know, I mentioned Axelay. I'm about to select. You can't ever start, you have to press B to select it. Now, I mentioned Axelay. Let's go try that out. Yeah, I reckon a decent distance in this game. Got to the final level, never beat it though, because it's pretty hard. A lot of Konami games were back in the day. Yeah, Axelay, really fun shooter. It alternates between a vertical and then horizontal. It's pretty cool and definitely a fun little game, but I kind of love that Konami jingle back in the day. Oh, Konami, what have the years done to you? Yeah, this game I would love to have a physical copy of, but again, it's really expensive. But I remember playing this a lot back then. I remember running it quite a bit. What's interesting, you can choose between different weapons as you play through the levels. You'll unlock more weapons. It's true, so I guess that's quite easy because I'm a wuss. I don't know if the Konami code works. I don't think I ever tried it. Now, it looks so dark. Keep in mind, this is playing on the Retron 3. It plays the games well, but Rocksolid Productions pointed out that the color palette is a little bit dark compared to what it normally should be.
ARMS installation is complete. Good luck.
That's a pretty cool soundtrack, too. If you didn't know it about, you'd think this game was made with, like, Mode 7. Yeah, I keep forgetting you have the different weapons, too. I'm mainly just stuck with this gun. But again, as you progress through the game, you unlock more weapons. It's pretty cool. They don't make too many shmups like this these days. Now, granted, the sort of like, I don't know what you would call it. It's not 3D, obviously, but the sort of panoramic scrolling, whatever. Yeah, it doesn't look that good now, but back then, it looked pretty cool. You know, I was on like 4 or 5 when I started playing this game, so I didn't know any better. Okay, well, that works. Let's gonna try one more game. I'm curious. Does it have Doom and will it play Doom? Actually, they check. When you check the Amazon links for this, I'll actually have a link to it below. Forgot to mention. It does show a list. It's barely legible, but a few of the screenshots do show the list of games that are included. I kind of glanced through it, but I think Doom's on here. I don't know if it'll work. Like, there are some like multi-carts that don't run SuperFX chips very well, and Doom on the Super Nintendo does use a SuperFX 2 chip. Yeah, it's not here. There's Doom Troopers, which is a different game. What we can play. Wait, Contra IV. Only Contra III, the Alien Wars. But yeah, if you're looking to play Doom on the Super Nintendo, I'm not sure why you want to, first off. And second off, yeah, it's not on this cart. If you want to play that, you have to get an EverDrive, a special EverDrive that can play SuperFX chips, but those are expensive. They're like upwards of $200, so I already have the original Doom cart, so I'm good on that front. Let's play some Contra III. I might hunt down a copy of that later. But 2 games so far, it's working fine. There's like this weird, like, flicker. Yeah, another Konami game. It's Contra. I don't know if the Konami code worked on this. I imagine if you play on the actual hardware, it'd be fine. Like actual Super Nintendo. If you're on a clone console, it might be the same. So let's try the Konami code. I don't know if it worked. Nope. I didn't play Contra 3 that much. But naturally it's hard. It was Contra. I love the spread gun. But anyway, I am testing this. No latency whatsoever. So nothing wrong with the ROMs or anything like that. I really need to play this game more. But again, there's a little bit of like flickering of the screen brightness and stuff. It's not super distracting or anything, but it is noticeable. Yeah, that was a sucky first showing. I didn't play Contra III that much again, so yeah. I have other means to play, the Contra Anniversary Collection and all that stuff. I wasn't aware you could. That's I press both the shoulder buttons so you could do that. That's pretty cool. I was hoping it was like a way to like hold yourself in place so you can aim, stay still and aim where you shoot. But anyway, that is the 800 Multicart from Retrotech. Works pretty well. I don't know what to do with that flickering is, but it's, you know, if you're from a distance, it's hardly noticeable. And the games run fine. I only played 3 so far, but it runs fine. No latency whatsoever. So that's pretty cool. I guess there's a budget I guess there's a budget EverDrive. And it's got some pretty good reviews, so I figured, you know, I give it a try. And again, it gives me a chance to play games that I have never played before, or games that, you know, I have played before and want to own again, but are a little outside my price range. So anyway, this is GIGABYTE signing out. Have a good day.
Sometimes I feel like all is lost, but I know it's not true. I wanna put up all my walls cause I'm not in the mood, but then I cut myself off from the rest of the room. I know that time can heal it all if you're patient, and soon it can all be worth it. All the searching, pain is never really